The Great British Hedge and Dry Stone Wall have been around for hundreds of years. So why are these traditional boundaries so important to us? You just need to stand on Pendle Hill and look across the landscape to see the amazing pattern of field boundaries crisscrossing the landscape to understand the aesthetic value they bring to our British countryside. The Pendle Hill area benefits from a mixture of both hedgerows and dry stone walls. In general, the walls dominate the fells and the hedges crisscross the lower land and river valleys. Traditional boundaries are an essential feature of our farmed landscape, serving to define the areas of land ownership. More importantly, they're a vital tool for livestock management. Training people to manage our boundaries using traditional crafts is a great way of keeping the skills of hedge laying and dry stone walling alive.
Most of your traditional dry stone wall is built in an A shape. So what we're looking for is a wall with a good width at the bottom, and as we come up we grade our courses down, getting smaller and smaller, always walling the length in. Unlike a brick, which is walled lengthways along the wall, we want them stones to come as far to the middle of the wall as possible either side. At various points in the wall we put a long stone right through the wall, and then when we get to the top we put a top stone on. This acts as a through. It goes right across the top of the wall, tying both outer skins together.
And the saying is, each stone should do its duty by its neighbour, so you're trying to get as much contact with every stone you place and support everything as you build.
When you're laying the hedge, you're chopping through it with an axe and you're taking 3/4 way through till you've taken the energy out of the ligger so that when it lays over in the hedge, it doesn't spring back up. The stock which is left, it's called the heel, that's sawn off within an inch of the ground, which in the spring will be sucking up lots of energy, so it then forms a lot of buds around the heel, and those buds then shoot and become the rejuvenated hedge to be laid in years to come.
I think hedges have an awful lot of value to play, not just an integral part of the landscape of the area, but from a biodiversity point of view there's a whole host of benefits, from flood prevention, carbon capture, and hedges play a very important part in delivering those kind of areas of work.
The whole idea of involving people in dry stone walling and hedge laying is not just that they can learn a new craft, it's also important that we preserve these treasured inheritances that serve a practical purpose for today. Traditional boundaries are a haven for wildlife across our landscape. Hedgerows support over 2,000 different species, providing a natural habitat for flora and fauna, nesting birds, insects and small mammals. Similarly, dry stone walls create habitat for many creatures such as frogs, lizards, mice and voles, who all love the wall's various nooks and crannies. Owls and buzzards use walls as lookout posts. Larger predators, like the weasel, hunt along the wall, and sheep find shelter from the weather and will often lamb behind a wall. The correct management of walls and hedges is essential if we are to conserve our wildlife and our landscape for future generations.
It's a very satisfying job, because when you go home at the end of the day, that piece of work that you've done should be there for many years to come, and you can come back and look at it and think, yeah, I did that.
In certain parts of the country, certainly around the Forest of Bowland, we still maintain the traditional smaller fields within farm holdings. Maintaining those boundaries becomes even more important within an area of outstanding natural beauty, because the landscape is the key thing that we're wanting to look after.
During the life of our programme, the Pendle Hill project has trained 150 people and supported over 30 farmers in restoring their walls and hedges. Over 8 kilometres of boundary has been brought back into good condition for wildlife, the landscape for farming and for future generations.